Hello guys, kindly check this application out. When we say submit, it says gender is required. So when we go and select male, and submit, say gender is male. How about female? Gender is female. Then last one, other, and submit, gender is other. So that is that guys. Let's develop this using React hook form. If you want to type along with me, kindly install the following. 1. npm install Tailwindcss forms, and 2. npm install React hook form. A quick one with Tailwind form. Let's copy that, go to Google, then paste it, then say check the npm. Okay, there's nothing to show. Let's go to the next one. Good. Now over here we say npm install. We've done that already. Now we copy the require. Okay, this require, we copy it, then we go to our tailwind.config.js file and paste it there. Good. I also have a video on installing React with Tailwind. So if you have issues installing React with Tailwind, I got you. So that is that, guys. With all said and done, let's begin. Thank you very much. Let's begin by creating two folders in our XRC folder. Call the first one assets and call the second one component. Good. Now let's take the first one, assets. Now with this application, we have no spinach or images, so we'll leave it blank. Move to the second one, components. Create a file and call it select app.js. Now let's take our boilerplate RAFCE. Instead of ordinary div, why don't we make it React.fragment? So we say React.fragment. Good. So inside that we can now say section. Then inside section we can now have a div and say hello. Let's link that to the app.js to view on the screen. So let's call select app. Okay, let's import it. So we say import what select from where? From components, then select app. So that is that. Let's check our screen if we got hello. Great, we got hello on the screen, means we're ready to go. So let's reposition everything since it's mobile first. Good. So we're ready now. So that is that. To begin, let's take the div off and create a form. So inside the form, let's now have a div. That will be the background. Let's give it class name and say bg white. Then width, let's give it auto, auto. Height, let's give it 96. Then what again? Let's make it mx5. Then let's give it nt. Let's give it 20. Then rounded lg. Then what again? Yeah, that is that. Now let's work on the header. Okay, so we say header section. Now with the header section, what do we need? We need a div. Let's take a div. Inside a div, let's now have a p tag. Inside a p tag, let's say validate select input. So let's give that a class name. So we say class name equals, let's test for Excel, then font bold uppercase, then what again? Test center. Let's give it a height. So we give the div a class name equals width, let's give it, sorry, height, let's give it height 28. Then flex, justify center and item center. Item center again. So that is that. Let's give it some shadow. So that is that with the header, done with the header. Now next thing is to do is to go to the body. So we say body section. So the body section, what do? Let's create a div. So inside this div, let's create another div, and this div will take two divs. One is going to be the select, and the other one is going to be the, what's the name, the error. So the error and the select. So let's say 1. Good. So that is that. Let's push them to the center. So we say class name here, then say grid, then justify what? Center. So that is that. So to work with this, what do? The first thing we need to do is the select. Okay, so let's call the select. So we say select tag. So inside the select tag, what is needed? We need options. Okay, so we say option, then first one is going to be what? Value, get value equals, so this is going to be what? Male. Then we have here male, A-L-E. Okay, so let's copy that 3 times. The first one is going to be 1, 2, 3 again. It is going to be female. Then the last one is going to be other. Now let's change the value to other, and this one is going to be female. Good. Now let's give them a default option. Anytime you load, this is what you see. So that one is going to be select gender, and the value is going to be empty. Okay, so that is that. Let's check it out. Good. Now next thing to do is create a class name for the select. So we say class name equals, let's give it the width 96, then let's make it rounded, ROU, and rounded LG. Then let's give it some text, let's say 3XL. Then let's give it some margin tab. Let's use its div, and let's say class name equals MT12. So that is that. Good. So that is that, guys. So next to work on is the button. Okay, so after we go to the button section. So you say btn section. Let's use CTR. Good. Now let's btn section. What do? Let's create a div. Inside the div, let's take an input tag. Inside the input tag, we need a type. Type equals what? Submit, and value. value equals one, submit. Then let's give it a class name. Get class name, let's say give it width, let's give it to fifth rather, and height, let's make it 10. Then what else, make it rounded. LG, make it BG, let's give it BG color, BG blue 700. Then what again, font bold text white. Now let's enter that. Okay, now we go take its div, then say class name equals, we'll say flex item center and justify center. Then give it empty 12. Good, so that is that. Good guys, I think we're ready for validation. So to begin validation, let's go to Google, go to React hook form. Good, now inside that, let's go to get started, then the npm install React. We've done that already, so now let's import it, copy that, go to our code, let's make it bigger, go to our code, then paste it, go back again, check the next one, let's copy the handle events. So we copy that and come back to our code and say handle events. Okay, let's paste that there. And the next one is going to be handle submit. So we say handle submit. Good. Let's check that and copy. Let's copy that. Okay. So over here we paste it. Now it's console.log data. Let's make it alert. So we say alert into brackets JSON.stringify into brackets data. So that is that with the handle submit. Now what next? Let's go check the form on submit. So let's copy the on submit on the form too. Copy that and we go to our form over here, and then we paste it there. Good, so that is that. Now let's check our form if it's working. So when we say submit, it alerts on empty data. Good, so we good to go. Next thing now to do is to check the sample events. So sample event, let's copy this. Okay, good, so we copy and take it to select. Select after the class name, we paste it there. Good, the name is what, let's change it to gender, and true. Let's make it dynamic. We say gender is required. It's required. Good, that is that. Now next thing to do is to handle the error. Let's go check the error out. So the error, let's copy the errors, copy that, then we come to the error section we did, so we paste it there. They change the name to gender, errors dot gender, and the span, let's make it dynamic. So we're going to say errors dot gender dot message. So that is that. Let's check it out. So when we go back and we say submit, it says what gender is required. Now let's add some class name to the gender is required. So let's the span, Let's give it a class name and say test sm, then test red 500. So let's check it out again. When we say submit, it says gender is required. Now likewise, I want the focus, which is now blue, to also change to red. So we go to the class name, then make the class name to dynamic. So we locate the class name. There's the class name. Let's make it dynamic. Let's take the quote off, then introduce the dynamic quote. The dynamic quote is under the escape button, so put it there, so that inside that we can now have our dollar sign in the bracket. Good. So inside the bracket, let's call the errors. Good. So we say errors dot gender and give it a class name. Change the focus border red, focus ring red, and border red. So that is that. Let's check it out. So when we check it out, you can see the border is also, the focus and border is also red. You can see. So when we select male, it changes to blue. So when we submit, it says gender is male. Likewise, we change the female, submit, say gender is female. Likewise, other, submit, it changes to other. So that is that, guys. Finally, let's make our app responsive then. Say cheers. So to do that, let's go to the mother div over here, where the BG white is, and say at small screen, make the width full. Then about medium screen, make the width for fifth, and make the MX what? Auto. And at large screen, make the width to fifth. Then make the same large screen, make the MX Auto. So that is that. Let's check it out. So we say good. So that is that, guys. Thank you for sticking through. Catch you in the next one. We say peace.